Mid-range budget battles are a lot of fun. While we're wrapping up our full Moto G4 reviews, we've gotten a number of questions from folks on how the G4 Plus compares to the OnePlus 3. While these two devices are aiming for slightly different markets, they are more alike than they might initially seem given the $100 price difference. Both phones have 5.5-inch 1080p displays, AMOLED on the OnePlus, LCD on the Motorola, and fingerprint sensors below those displays. The OnePlus has 6GB of RAM to the Moto G4's 4GB of RAM, but both have 64GB of built-in storage, 3000 mAh batteries, and fast charging solutions. So what separates these two devices? First, obviously, is processor power. The OnePlus 3 with a Qualcomm 820 walks all over the Moto with its lower power 617. The Moto is plenty powerful to handle the basics, navigating the user interface, scanning your social media, watching HD video. It's all good even playing moderately graphics-heavy games, but the OnePlus 3 simply outpowers it in all categories. Also, for both phones arriving with 64GB of built-in storage, the Motorola does give media junkies the ability to pop in a memory card for even more space. Now, camera performance is a win for the OnePlus 3, but these two 16-megapixel shooters are closer than we would have thought. The OnePlus 3 handles exposure a little better, and the camera processing comes out contrastier, but saturation is fairly similar. The Motorola camera app has improved quite a bit over the last couple years. Options are still really simple, but we do get full manual controls for photography. Lower light shots are interesting, where the Moto lacks hardware stabilization, but the OnePlus 3 still tends to jack the ISO higher with a similar shutter speed. Handheld, the Moto delivered a slightly darker shot, but there's a lot more chroma noise on the OnePlus 3's photo. For folks who want to edit though, the G4 Plus doesn't have an option to save RAW files that we can find. Now moving to video, the Motorola only shoots 1080p at 30 frames per second, no 720p video, no UHD, no 60 frame per second options, but you can at least adjust exposure. Though the OnePlus 3 has hardware stabilization, when trying to hold still, video from the two phones is nearly the same in terms of jittery handshake. And looking at the display technologies, these screens are essentially a tie. A OnePlus moved to AMOLED this year and wins for color saturation and contrast. But the Moto has a brighter LCD, which is easier to read outdoors, and the sub-pixel array makes it a bit better for VR applications or for folks who like to keep their noses in their phones. And headphone playback is a substantial win for the OnePlus 3, as it's posted some of the best DAC and amp numbers we've seen from any phone released this year. The Moto falls right in line with the Galaxy S7, which uses the built-in DAC included with Qualcomm chipsets. It's not bad, it's just noticeably outperformed by the OnePlus. And we'll also give the fingerprint sensor win to the OnePlus 3, the larger sensor is easier to reach, and it's surprising that the G4 Plus's sensor doesn't double as a home button. Once the screen is on and the phone is unlocked, this hardware appears to be useless. Lastly, battery life between the two lands really close. Running a media test streaming 30 minutes of HD video over Wi-Fi at 50% brightness, the OnePlus drained 5% of its battery and the Moto drained 6%. Real-world usage matches that benchmark as battery longevity is too close to call between the more powerful processor on the OnePlus and the brighter screen on the Motorola. Recharge speed goes to the OnePlus though. The Moto was snappy with a 42% recharge after 30 minutes on the included charger, but the OnePlus achieved a 53% charge using the dash charger in the same amount of time. So let's wrap this up. Where do we stand between the Moto G4 Plus and the OnePlus 3? The exciting thing about a OnePlus is the bang for buck, pushing a flagship processor into a mid-range price tier. The Moto G4 Plus is an extension of that conversation, delivering many of the same terrific lifestyle features at an even lower price point. The $100 price difference here certainly includes some benefits like headphone audio quality and a faster recharge rate. But outside of folks looking for the slightly better camera performance or the better graphics power, the Moto gets us really close to what many people might be looking for in a daily driver phone. The effects of lower cost manufacturing are working their way across the whole smartphone industry, and we see the gap separating a $400 phone from a $600 phone is shrinking, and the gap between a $300 phone and a $400 phone is eroding too. As always, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to this channel for more comparisons like these, and hit that thumbs up button for a little extra positive reinforcement. For Pocketnow, I'm Juan Carlos Bagnell, some gadget guy on Twitter and Instagram, and I will catch you all on the next comparison.